Hi, I'm Max Middleman. I am the Poltergoose in Breadwinners.
Not here.
And also Bobo and Elena of Avalor.
No, not here. They're not.
I play Overflow in Ben 10.
Sorry, it's an anime convention.
And I am also Blur in Transformers.
That's Japanese at least.
And I'm Saitama, that's right. I'm Saitama, the One Punch Man. And I play Pete in Seven Deadly Sins. And Ryuji in Persona 5. Yeah! And some other stuff. Oh, I'm Leo in Fire Emblem. And Kaden in Fire Emblem. And I'm Forrest in Fire Emblem. And I'm Gordon in Fire Emblem. And I'm Gray in Fire Emblem. And that's all the Fire Emblems.
You're also Sasuke in Agretzko, which I just finished watching. It's so freaking good.
Applaud if you've seen Agretzko.
Yes. Awesome. Highly recommended. Very, very good show.
You are the one who... I can't remember the song.
Barfed at?
Who puked in... What? Puked at Singles Night. Something like that. Anyway, this is a Q&A, not a beatboxing panel, so we are here, and we're going to answer questions. Hey, is that... Yes. Yes.
So, how excited do you feel to be the new voice of Lionel?
It's awesome, and kids are gonna love it, and I'm super excited, and the show is so much fun, and it's great working with an awesome cast, and it's a really fun experience. This guy built me a sword, Lionel's sword. He literally built it and gifted it to me today, which is freaking awesome. Thanks, man.
I'd like to start from the top. What got you guys into voice acting in general, and how did you practice, and how did you make your breakthrough and all that jazz? It's like a 5-point question, so take the whole hour if you'd like. I would love to hear about it.
The year was 1992. Where did I come from? I grew up watching mostly cartoons and playing video games and stuff, and I always loved it, and I love mimicking the voices.
Speaking of mimicking voices, hey Ray, can you mimic this sound? Go on.
Scared the crap out of me. No, I can't make that sound, Max.
Okay.
What games did you do that in? You did that in something.
I did it recently. I can't talk about it.
Can't talk about it?
Recorded.
Oh, okay. I got a theater degree at USC, where we both went, but we didn't meet there, even though we were there at the same time, because Max was a pre-med, but he'll answer that in his question. I got out, and I was like, I think I can do this voice acting thing really good, because I can do a lot of different voices. And I started doing Voice 1, 2, 3, and doing online
You know, it's not all about voices, Ray.
It's about the looks.
You gotta have great eyes.
Yes. I got headshots printed, and nobody cared. When yeah, that's perfect.
Nobody cared, and then you go silent.
Nobody cared. So then I started doing, just commercial voices and stuff like that. I did Coke Zero for a while. Coke Zero, enjoy everything. And I just found out that Robbie was doing Pepsi at the same time. Robbie Damon. And I did that stuff for a while, and then I did audiobooks. I did about 200 in a 2-year period. It was absolutely miserable, because audiobooks you do by yourself, and you don't get to pick what you get to work on. You just read random books, and that can be tough. Then I met this guy, Max Middleman, at a workshop, and he was like, I won't kiss you on the first date, but we should start doing voiceover stuff, Ray. You should get out of your booth and start doing anime and video games and cartoons and fun stuff.
Did you guys know for every episode of Seven Deadly Sins I did, I was holding Ray's hand as I was recording it? That's true.
And then we started doing stuff, and it was awesome. You audition for things, and then some things happen, and all of them don't happen, and you have to deal with crushing defeat all the time. Max, how did you get started?
Well, after stripping, I auditioned for Ryuji, and then I was a pre-med student for 4 years in college, and that's right. If you're having a heart attack, please don't call on me. I was just a student. And I switched to theater. I called my parents after 4 years, and I was like, I'm gonna drop out of school. And they were like, don't drop out of school, change your major, don't be stupid. And I changed my major to theater and got my theater degree. So at the same time I got the theater degree, cut a demo together, got an agent, started auditioning. That's my hero's journey. Very exciting. Very exciting.
Did we cover all 5 points?
When I audition for something, I just beatbox. I don't do the lines.
Tell your Cloud Monster story. That was one of the first things.
The Cloud Monster. I did a character called the Cloud Monster in a show called Breadwinners with Robbie David.
May he rest in peace.
No, Robbie David, the third member of our trio, is out of commission because he's having a baby in a few days.
Yay!
And we said, Robbie, we didn't know you could get pregnant. So, what was I saying?
You're not.
Oh, Cloud Monster. Yeah, in the show, the Cloud Monster talks like this. He's a big cloud monster, and the audition had humming, and instead of humming, I beatbox. That's not true. I hummed for the audition, and then I got to the session. They booked me, and I was like, "Hey, can I beatbox this?" They were like, "Yeah," and then they kept it, and I got a composer credit. So that was I got a composer credit on Breadwinners, and it was like the original thing was like going to eat you after I betray you, and I did something like going to eat after I betray, and then they kept it, and that's what happened. Yeah.
There's no beatboxing anime, is there?
Beatboxing anime? No.
That would be really cool.
There should be.
Yeah.
Where everybody's shirtless.
What?
Where's the next question? Chris has been over there for a million years. Oh wait, who has the mic? You do. Yes. No.
So I know that you guys have many lines that can be really funny.
Many
that
lines?
you just crack up that
Yes.
like you can't take it seriously. Can you tell me about some of those lines that you just could not keep a straight face while doing your acting?
We did. I did Final Fantasy 15,
Woo!
and there was a line in the dungeon after you beat the game, Piteous Ruins. There's a line that plays incessantly, "Cake Baby."
Cake Baby.
And it was originally "Piece of Cake Baby," but the line was only the Japanese actor recorded. It was 0.3 seconds, and we just couldn't. "Piece of cake, baby. Piece of cake, baby. Piece of cake, baby." And so we just started cutting out words until it made sense, and then it was "Cake, baby," and that plays incessantly whenever you're in the dungeon, and that was definitely one of the weirdest things I've ever had to say.
I love that line.
Every time this question gets asked, I don't have a good story.
Tell about the story when you said "okay" when you were Saitama.
I said it once and that was it.
Did they really just do one take? When you
Yeah,
said
and
the final
then Chris, my director, was like, okay, we'll do a safety, and that was it. We're gonna take the first one. So he took the first one.
I didn't know that. Wow.
Yeah. Okay.
Carissa, where are you? Hello.
This question's for Max. It's a two-part question. First, how did you get the role of Ryuji Sakamoto in Persona 5? And second, what was your favorite part of playing Ryuji?
I believe it's pronounced Sakamoto. I refuse to audition. Did I say I don't audition anymore? I don't audition anymore. When auditions come in, I say no.
That's
you either
not
want
true.
me or you don't.
That's not true. You did an
and
audition
if you
in my
want me,
room earlier
you're gonna have to
today.
bring me in for lots of money. I say I won't do it for less than
Nope.
lots of money. And
Hey Max, you just got an audition. They're doing.
oh, I gotta go audition for it. Just kidding. You guys, that's called comedy. That's physical comedy mixed in with some intelligence. We have a show tomorrow. Is this the right time to be promoting it?
Yeah, guys, we do a show called Lava. Our third member is dead, and my girlfriend, Julia McIlvain, will be helping. She will be the Robbie for the show. This same room at 4 p.m.
There will be
5
audience
p.m.
participation and prizes?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. There's a Robbie cosplayer.
Yes.
Oh, jeez. That is so good. Where's the garish hat? There it is. Yes. So good.
We have a show with Robbie and Ray.
That's not the question.
The question was Ryuji. How did I audition and become the most famous character of all time? It got sent to me like everything else, and I auditioned for it and got it.
That's not the story.
What? No, that is.
I remember you calling me up and being like, "Yo, this Ryuji guy. That's all I want."
Maybe
out
I
of this
didn't.
game.
I didn't audition for it. Actually, the studio pitched me to the client, to Atlas, and Atlas was like, "Yeah, he's our guy," because I worked with them before, I think. So I think that was the real story. And then my favorite part about Ryuji is every time he goes, "You guys from the Phantom Thieves, did you forget that?" And ruins it for everybody.
Alright, you both seem like you live on the internet. So I have to ask, what is your favorite and dankest meme?
Favorite dankest meme. Ooh, there's a lot of good ones out there. From my recent tweet, it's to meme. I love the "is this" one that's going around with the anime guy and the butterfly. That one's really, really good. I want to come up with a good one for Final Fantasy, but I can't think of any. I have to like draw something, so I'm not good at that either. Dankest meme.
Is it gotta give it to him? Is that the?
Oh, you know you gotta give it to him. Yeah.
I don't know why that makes me
We
laugh.
get asked to do the pose for pictures a lot, and that's always really fun. You did a really good job the last time we did it at
I did.
Sakura Con.
Yeah. Hey Ray, can you do this sound?
Yes, I can.
Go ahead.
I'm not going to right now. This is a Q&A panel, not a sound making panel.
How about this one? Go get a side poster afterwards. Yes. Next question.
It's me. Hi guys.
Hi.
I was just wondering, what made you guys start Lava?
What?
Why did we
I
start?
just like ate this microphone.
May I ask, are you from Canada by any chance? You're not. Okay. They don't pronounce it lava there too.
Are you from Minnesota?
That is it's the Canadian pronunciation.
Yeah.
Your parents might be secret Canadians.
Why do we
I don't
start
know.
lava? Stop. Just stop with that. That's dangerous territory. You
What?
don't want to
Secret Canadian?
Secret Canadian. Well, this is America. We started lava because of Robbie. Robbie had the idea. He wanted to do a show, and I guess I was doing Spider-Man with him, recording, and he was like, "Let's do a show," and I was like, "Yeah, let's do it." And then
We had so many shared credits that it just made sense for us to do conventions together.
And
then
we're
we were
both-
like, if we're going to these conventions, might as well have some fun. Might as well
We're
do a
all
show.
trained improvisers.
Yeah.
We're all trained actors. We started all of us on the stage, and so we were like, "Yeah, let's do it. We're good at that."
And we came up with the name. We were just pitching names around. and
What was one of our other names? Do you remember?
Man, I don't know.
We had so many. And then Ray said, "What about loud, annoying, and very annoying?"
Yeah.
And we were like,
Of course.
"Of course it's
Well,
that."
I think we were like loud, annoying. What could the third one be? And then just very annoying.
All right.
was the best.
Loud, annoying, and very annoying. So lava condenses it. That's the acronym there. And beatbox time.
Stop this mic. Hey.
Okay, so hi. When I look at your IMDb's, specifically Max, I noticed that you work with a lot of the same cast, like over and over. Like, you work, like in Miraculous Ladybug, you've got Bryce and Christina, and then in Seven Deadly Sins, you also have Bryce and Christina, and I was just wondering what it's like to just move to another show with the same people you always work with?
Well, it's the same thing because you're in a booth recording alone, so you never get to see them anyway. But I pass them in the halls and stuff. We're all friends. The voiceover community is so tight.
There's so few of us, and we're all alive now, so we all are working together. That really is it. There's only so much of us to go around.
Yeah. There's a limited amount of talent, and we kind of have it all. So we're not gonna let that go. That's not true.
Hello.
Hi.
This is a question for both of you.
Cool.
What was the most difficult part you did in your voice acting careers?
Oh yeah. I made a big mistake when I did a show named Botter Snikes and Gumbles. You can watch it on Netflix. Nobody has. It stars me and Robbie Damon. I'm the villain, and I'm a snike, which is a crazy-looking creature. I'm the king of the snakes, and I decided to do my audition just because I was like, what is this show? Like this. I am the king of the snakes! And it ended up being 52 episodes with that voice. That was a big old mistake. I really hope it doesn't get picked up again.
Wait, keep telling that story. Sorry.
Robbie Damon got to do his own voice for it. He played the hero Tink. Based on an Australian book of fairy tales called Botter Snakes and Gumbles. And one day we were in New Zealand and we had a fan who had the book series. And she didn't know that she brought it to the convention, but she didn't know that we were in the show. And it blew our minds. So why did you bring this book here if you haven't seen the show and this is an anime convention? It made absolutely no sense. There's a word in the industry that we like to call vamping. It's when you continue to make stuff up while the other person is waiting for you to stop talking.
I'm ready.
Okay, yeah.
I wasn't listening to your vamping. I would have stopped you far sooner. So the most difficult thing I've done, and it's difficult because it's so vocally stressful, was a character called the Quarren in Star Wars Battlefront, where I had to do the whole character in a made-up language, which wasn't really the difficult part. But the difficult part was the voice I used, and there's no processing or effects on this, but this is what I did for many lines. So that was like 4-hour sessions of doing that, losing my voice a few times, and yeah, that was fun. It actually is fun. It's fun
When
when
they give you a strange language to read.
Yeah.
Because they give you a pronunciation guide. Usually the person who came up with the language is in the room with you. That can be really fun.
Yes.
Hi.
Tiffany.
We know.
Yes. So, Ray, I want to wish you a happy belated birthday.
Thank you. My birthday was last year. 22 years old.
And actually, it was my husband Alex's birthday just a few days ago.
Happy birthday, Alex.
And my birthday's coming up in just a few weeks as well.
Very cool. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Everybody sing happy birthday. 1, 2, 3.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday
Stop.
to you. Happy birthday
Stop.
to Ray. Happy birthday to me.
I saw it coming.
That was
Ray
really
Chase,
cool.
ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, so my question is for both of you. What is your best and worst birthday experience?
Birthday experience?
Yes.
Well, I don't want to tell that story. Not my 21st birthday story. That was bad.
You know what? When I was 6 years old, my mother made a carnival in our backyard for my birthday, and that was freaking rad. And I got to decorate my birthday cake with gummy dinosaurs, and so and she made it homemade, and I got to put the dinosaurs on the cake, and I felt like a 3-star Michelin chef. It was so cool. And that's the only birthday I can remember, because I don't really do birthdays very much.
My best and worst birthday experience happened on the same birthday. I was 12 years old, and my parents threw me a surprise party at my house, which had a pool in the backyard, and all my friends were there. And that was the best thing ever until one of the kids got in a fight with another kid and threw a giant water gun at his face, and it hit him in the head. And that was kind of the end of the fun.
You haven't had a birthday since?
I have not. I refuse. I'm still 12. Hey, Ray.
Hey, Max?
Can you do this sound?
Oh my God.
Good. Nice work. Hi.
So, you said you don't do auditions anymore?
No, that was a blatant lie.
Such a lie. We do auditions every day.
Every day. Max was
Multiple
literally in
times
my room earlier today using my microphone for free.
Right. But, like Prince Verondis, you sound nothing like him.
Thank you.
Prince Verondis?
Prince Verondis from World of Warcraft.
Oh, I don't know that one.
Yeah, he's very sophisticated. Very. And also a ghost.
He's what? I had trouble.
He's a ghost.
Ghost, yes.
He's got, he's a high elf
Yes.
that was responsible for.
Yeah. Well, it's what's interesting about him is there's a little processing because he's a ghost. They did put some audio effects on his voice, but it's just kind of some reverb. It kind of sounds like what's going on in this room. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but there's a lot of bounce back.
Do your Prince Verondis in this room and I'll make his day. Live Verondis.
I don't know what I did for him. It was something like, but it was with the Mid-Atlantic accent. So,
It actually does sound exactly like in the game. He says to Queen Ashara, he says some big line, I think it's Queen Ashara, and he's like, it's kind of like that Gandalf line that's like, "You shall not pass," but in his voice. I shouldn't have brought it up because I don't know it, so I'll go now.
You didn't bring it up. He asked you a question. Actually, you didn't ask a question. What's your question?
Well, I mean, it was along the lines of Verondis and just how you get your voice to.
How I get there? Yeah. Well, you just drop your voice down in pitch. Yeah, I speak relatively quietly. I close my voice off a little bit, so it has a little bit of rasp, and I don't know what I can't remember. They play me a reference for it, but I use my chest voice for that. Resonances are really cool. I didn't know about. I'll talk about resonances.
Yes.
I took a voice class in college, and I thought that doing this voice was considered raising my pitch. Now, it's not raising your pitch, it's just changing your resonance. It's the same note. I can speak in this voice in the same note, and I didn't know that. So I didn't know what the difference was. Literally, I'm 21 years old, I didn't know what the difference was.
Yeah, you can feel yourself vibrating in different parts of your body if you say, like, if everybody has a natural place where they resonate. Mine is in my chest, and when I'm talking, my chest is vibrating. But doing that class in college, because we took the same class,
Yeah.
Paul Becker,
Mhm.
and making different parts of your body vibrate. It's
Do this, everybody do this. Go. Put your hand on sort of your diaphragm down here, right? And then go, and then move your hand up, feel it on your chest. And then go, and you won't feel the vibration in your chest anymore, but it's gonna come all from here. Good work. You guys are great. You guys, about 10 of you did that, and there's over 100 of you in this room, so it was good. It was great. You'll try it when you get home, I'm sure. Also, when you get home, put a banana in the microwave, and well, never mind. I'll tell you guys later. I'll tell you at the lava panel. In fact, yes.
So my name's not actually James. It's actually
What? Who even are you?
I'm Corey. Nice to meet you.
Corey. Oh, you just did the last panel.
I did.
Yeah, you're great, man.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, cheers.
Appreciate it. I have 2 questions for you guys, if that's okay. Sorry, guys. My first question is.
First, he has the audacity.
Yeah. I just took one panel to do that. Sorry. Anyway, my first question is, what role that you guys have done, it could be theater, voiceover, whatever you've done in your career, has really pushed you, oh, excuse me, that's a bad positive. What has pushed you and kind of helped you elevate your game? And then when you were starting out, what sort of jobs did you do to kind of pay the rent while you were getting yeah.
Max Middleman has only been a voice actor. He never had a day job.
And then the last part of the question was, what did you guys do to kind of maintain your acting chops as you're performing and going from job to job?
You got it, Corey. James, I'll just call you James for
Well,
you're my son.
Every single morning, I wake up and I do my Chris Walken, and that really puts me in character.
Thanks, Max. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Wait a minute, there were a couple of questions. First one is, well, I had day jobs, a bunch of them. I was an SAT tutor, and I was an usher at the music centers. I watched a lot of opera, and I was I was a bar back, and then a bartender, and then I was a part-time voice actor, and then I was a full-time voice actor.
Ew, part-time?
Yes,
Ew.
Max Middleman graduated from college and booked Ryuji, and then that was the end. What role pushed us the most?
What role pushed us the most? I think every role I do, I learn something. Every role I don't get, I learn even more.
Yeah, when you see who booked it at the end of the day, you're like, oh, of course. I understand what they were looking for. It helps you break down scripts a whole lot easier. Yeah, because then you see the answer. Oh, that's the answer. The answer was Roger Craig Smith. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
And unlike anatomy class that you might take for a semester, this is our entire lives. So we have a long time to study for the quiz.
And we take the quiz every day when we audition. And we always fail. Guys, you book like 1 out of every 200 auditions that you get. Maybe if you're Max Middleman, 1 out of every 10. But for us working class citizens, it takes a long time to get started.
I pity you.
The role that challenged me, I mean, Noctis was crazy because it was my first like big union video game. It lasted for 3 years, and we played it in order from start to finish. So I was able to play a character arc and have it go for 3 years. And at the same time, having to match every single line to the Japanese waveform was a crash course. And that really helped me beef up my anime game, being able to dub much better and much faster. Because it's that timing, that internal timing is definitely really hard.
I want to try this. Oh, it's really loud. You can't hear it on the mic. Never mind. So what I did as an actor for training, what was the question?
What role pushed you the most?
Oh, like I said, I think the roles that I don't get push me the most. What role pushed me the most?
What was the most out of your comfort zone you ever felt?
I don't really. If I'm booking something, then
you're right for the part.
I feel like I feel like there's a reason I'm booking it. That's a toughie. That's a toughie. But what I do to keep up my acting chops, I mean, I still take classes every now and again, and I'll go for coaching once and again, and yeah.
You got it.
Yeah.
Hi.
Oh.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. Stand up. Hi. I just want to say, circus?
Max Middleman, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
It's an inside joke from Florida.
But Steve Bloom is here.
Steve Bloom is here.
Hi there.
Hi.
All right. So you guys have been talking about your experience with other voice actors. Have you worked with anybody who have been in movies or TV shows other than like cartoons?
What's crazy about me is I've never worked with another voice actor ever. Because I don't do. When have I ever worked with anyone?
That's not true. You're currently doing something where you're working.
Well, I can't talk about it.
Well, but you can't say you've never worked with.
Okay, I got to work with one guy, and it's not Max or Robbie, so it doesn't matter. But I do mostly video games, and it's all alone. When we did Final Fantasy 15, I did not get to meet Ignis and Gladio and Prompto until after the game was out. It was ridiculous. So I'm a very lonely person.
Was the question who's the most famous person? I totally missed it.
What is it like? Well, she's saying she didn't know that I'd never worked with a single person in my life, except Mr. Secret. But since you've worked with a bunch of voice actors, have you worked with on-camera actors too?
Oh yeah, all the time. I mean, most of the voice actors I work with are also on-camera actors. There's a guy on Ben 10 who I'm actually a really big fan of. He works on Always Sunny in Philadelphia. What? Not Danny DeVito. Not Danny DeVito. He's the producer, but he's also a character on the show. Mac? Cricket. And, yeah, he's a funny guy. So there's him. I mean, on one of my first jobs I worked with on Transformers, I got to work with Mark Hamill, and my Mark Hamill story. Mark is the best person on earth. When he's in a room, he totally commands the attention of every single person in the room, and he just regales you with stories of old, of his Star Wars days back when, and like he's just an amazing person and storyteller. And I remember I was at the Transformers record, and he was standing in the lobby, and there were like 8 of us around him, and say you're him.
I am Mark Hamill.
And I'm just listening to you, and he's telling a story, and he goes, and when I was about your age, my reaction when he did that to me, I go. I was like, I'll never wash this shoulder again. It was super cool. So he's a great guy, and yeah, I've gotten to work with a bunch of cool on-cam peeps. And the cool thing is when we go to these conventions, we see even more cool on-camera people, and we get to chat it up with them. I'll tell you, I was just at a convention with Jeff Goldblum, and Jeff Goldblum, when I was 14, I went to New York, and I saw a show on Broadway with my parents, and we saw Spamalot. Anybody know what Spamalot is? Yeah, it's the Broadway version of basically Monty Python and the Holy Grail, and it was with Tim Curry and a bunch of other people. And we were at the back door where celebrities come out and they sign for you and they say hi. And it was me and my family and just this random English lady who happened to be there with us. We were having a nice, polite conversation. And who comes walking up to us is Jeff Goldblum. Out of nowhere. And we're like, oh, Jeff Goldblum. And the lady who was with us said, oh my goodness, Jeff Goldblum, can I have a photograph? And he goes, oh, yes, of course, I love your accent. Can I have a photograph? And we take a picture with him, and I take my Spamalot. I should mention, he was not in Spamalot. He was just hanging around. He just was there, and I took my Spamalot program and I kind of shoved it in his face, and I was like, Mr. Goldblum, can you sign this? And he closes it, looks at the Spamalot cover, and goes, oh yes, no shame at all. I love it. So that's probably my best celebrity signing story.
Where is that autograph?
That is at home next to